It's day 27 of the Walk Off the Weight series for women over 50, and today I've got a great walking booty burn. Grab a chair and let's go. All right, killer bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. And of course, that means we're getting started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, let me just start off super quickly. By the way, hello, I'm Pahla B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend, and this entire month we are walking off the weight. And let me just apologize right now. This is what I wanted to tell you for the really dreadful lighting. I know it's really rough today. I try my best to do a little bit of fixing in post, but I'm not a great video editor, and I do my best. But also, this is especially bad lighting. We're having a very gray and gloomy, I think it's been raining kind of a day. And I normally have this side window covered up so that I don't get this weird harsh glare off to the side. But Agatha joined us today. She was over here sitting in the windowsill. And what am I going to do? Close the blinds on my cat? No, of course not. So welcome to, oh my gosh, welcome to a super fun workout. Did I tell you to have your chair completely out of the way while we're doing our warm-ups? I know, I was distracted by the lighting. Let's go ahead and do arm crossers with booty kickers. You guys, today is going to be so fun and such a nice burn. I'm really looking forward to this one. You know, we've done a couple of other like body part specific workouts, and so I wanted to show you today what it feels like when we get a booty burn. So we are really focusing on our gluteal area. And I will tell you the way that I tell you when we are doing arm workouts or ab workouts, this is not how you burn fat off of a specific body part at all. You burn fat by being in a consistent caloric deficit over time, meaning that you eat the right number of calories every single day, you exercise moderately every single day, you drink the right amount of water every single day, you get your sleep and you manage your mind every single day, just like we talk about. But today we're going to work on getting really strong gluteal muscles, which is a really good thing to have for basically everything in your life. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. Here's what it looks like today. I've got the handy dandy gym boss here. Set for intervals of 1 minute of walking and 30 seconds of very glute-centric work, which is why we have the chair. We're going to be doing a lot of single-sided standing leg work, and I'm not going to be a hero on any of this stuff. It's far more like complicated than just regular balance work, so I absolutely wanted something for us to hold on to. Let's go ahead and get started with some walking. We've got plenty of time to really kind of finish warming up and getting into this walking mode. Today is, well, it's both cardio and strength. We're going to get plenty of walking done. With 1 minute intervals, we really are going to get lots of walking in today. And I will tell you now, before I get too distracted, that we're going to have the chair right next to us for this first one. We're going to be doing fire hydrants. I could not come up with any other name to call this thing, because what we're doing is bending forward slightly, hanging onto the chair, and we're going to be opening up our leg like a dog at a fire hydrant. So I'm actually going to take a couple of seconds right now. I'm just going to meander over this way and just have the chair so that you can kind of see the side of what I'm doing. That's my intention today, is to actually move the chair back and forth so that you can always really see the exercises as I'm doing them. Now, I want you to know that we can really take this, the strength part especially, at a nice, easy pace. In 30 seconds, we're not going to get a ton of them done. So we're starting with one leg. We're just going to bend that knee and we're opening it out. Think about having both hip bones pointed forward the entire time. You could get your leg a lot further open if you let your whole leg and hip twist open. But if you do that, my friends, if you twist your hip open, you are also twisting your knee. Make sure that that standing leg is nice and strong and that knee isn't twisting anywhere. This might actually be a really small motion, and here we are back to walking. It might actually be a really small motion, and this is something that I have come to grips with over time. There are just certain ways that even though I am strong, my body doesn't love to move. That hip opening motion, we've talked about this several times this month already. You know my hips very well. My hips just don't love to open like that. And it could be because those gluteal muscles for me are not quite as strong as other gluteal muscles. There's lots of reasons why our bodies move the way they move, and one of the great things that we're doing this month is really getting to know our bodies very well. I'm going to go ahead and move this chair right now so that when we're doing fire hydrants on the other side, you can see the other side. We're getting to know our bodies very well, and rather than judging them for being the way they are and doing the things that they do, we're simply noticing and accepting and thinking about ways that we can make improvements or be just as good as we can be where we are. Bend that knee, open out that hip. Now, this side, oh my goodness, feels significantly tougher. I did that thing where I stand on my left leg first because that's what I always do, but it actually means that the work now that I'm doing on this left side, oh my gosh, feels significantly harder. Here's the great news. Today is a no repeat workout. I love this. I mean, other than the walking, obviously we're repeating lots of walking. Here we go back to it, by the way. But these butt exercises, we're just doing one interval on each side of each thing and calling it good, my friends, because this is not easy stuff. Did you notice the burn already? If you didn't, I will tell you, you will by the time we get to the end of this list of exercises. I've got some more fun stuff. In fact, here's what we're going to do coming up next. We're going to do something I'm calling a curtsy tap with a side kick. Now, in order to really see this one, you probably want to have, we're going to want to have the chair in front of me, but what I'll do is I'm going to just tap behind me however far you can get to without coming into a curtsy lunge. So we're not doing a curtsy lunge, it's a tap, meaning that you've got one leg traveling all the way back as far as it can go, really using your inner and outer thigh on that. And then when we finish with the curtsy tap, we're going to come out into a side kick. I'm actually, because I started doing things this way, I'm just going to go ahead and move the chair back and forth, and I'm going to be standing on my left leg. So we're coming back into a curtsy tap as far as you can go, out into a side kick as far as you can go. Now you could probably go a little bit faster on this one. I'm going to encourage you to move slowly and really think about where your body is. Feel those inner and outer thighs. Really doing the work here. Oh my gosh, really feeling what I lovingly call the side butt doing its job in this side kick. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Back to walking. You guys, this is such a fun workout for me in so many ways. I'm just going to move the chair so that we're ready for the other side. For me personally, I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Honestly, that not being burning butt fat thing was like the number one thing. I just always want you guys to know that working out is what we do to get stronger. It's not what we do to get smaller, even though exercise in and of itself, without changing anything else, if you exercise regularly, your body will change shape and would probably more or less be the same weight, because muscle is just differently shaped than fat. When you have stronger, leaner muscles, they are stronger and leaner. They look different. They look different on your body. However, that is not the same thing as burning fat. Here we go with that curtsy tap on the other side. Standing on my right leg. Curtsy tap. Oh my gosh. And big side kick. Oh, I knew this was going to be tough. And that was the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you about today. Doing tough stuff. Doing things that are a little bit different and very concentrated and focused, like this. And even related to that, it was kind of ironic that it is a dark and gloomy day today. Here we go back to walking. Sometimes we don't want to do stuff, is really my message today. Sometimes we don't feel like doing what's on tap for us today. Sometimes you might have said, oh, walking booty burn. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I will tell you, no matter how you feel, there is a way that you can always make yourself do something. You can make yourself a promise. You can make yourself a promise and you can honor it. That is what I did today. I had on my list that I was filming today, and I promised myself that filming was going to get done. By the way, when it beeps, we're making small circles, okay? This sounds so easy, and it is not. So I'm gonna stand on my left foot. I'm gonna turn, to the side. My right foot is literally just going to draw small circles in the air. And we're going to go back and forth so we get like a nice range of motion, and you can really feel the difference between moving your foot in one direction and moving your foot in the other direction. Okay, so we're just tipping forward slightly. We're making a small circle this way and a small circle that way. Now here's what I want you to be thinking about. I want you to be thinking about having both hips pointed forward And don't worry about whether or not you're actually drawing a circle, because I'm almost definitely not. It's a very weird shape, but you're thinking about squeezing through your gluteal range of motion. I mean, it's not quite that big, but you're thinking about squeezing through all of your gluteal plane of motion. Here we come back to walking, to get that circle drawn. This is the kind of work that you can actually do anytime you want to. A lot of these exercises, I will tell you, are actually very physical therapy related exercises, working on strengthening your gluteal muscles in all of their planes of motion. There's a couple of muscles in there, and they do different things. And so we're moving in different ways today to really strengthen all of your butt. Now let me come back to that motivation thing, making yourself promises. When I put filming on my schedule a couple days ago, because I plan out my whole week, I knew at some point in time that I wouldn't really want to film. I mean, there's always something on my schedule that I'm like, I'll put that off until a little bit later. But I have learned over the course of the last, I'm gonna say 6 months to a year, that I've really been working, here we go, with small circles on the other side. And I happen to know, because this is my left leg trying to be coordinated, I already know that this one's gonna feel even less coordinated. But really thinking about squeezing and intentionally moving your leg from your butt muscles. You could actually just fling your leg around and not really be strengthening your butt. But when you are intentionally squeezing, thinking about where the work is coming from, you are intentionally using those correct muscles. Let's come back to walking, you guys. Okay. It's gonna get even more fun. But let me come back to my story real quick. So then when I woke up today, and it was very cloudy, very gray, very rainy, and I was like, well, I can move things around, I can rearrange things. And then I thought to myself, you promised yourself that you were going to get this done. There are other times during the week when I could, if I moved something to this time and moved this to some other time, I could, but I had made myself a promise. And this is something that I have been working on my self-love journey. When you love yourself, as I hope you do, you make promises to yourself that you keep. When it beeps, by the way, we're doing rear pulses, which is just what it sounds like. So we're gonna tip forward a little bit more, and we're gonna have our knee bent and our foot trying to pulse up towards the ceiling. Yes, exactly. So we're not gonna let our leg come all the way back down each and every time. It's not a big sweep. We are, bend your knee, pulsing up, as though you were trying to put your foot, well, you know what, I see behind me, my foot is really going towards the wall and not the ceiling. I really overreached on that description there. But I will tell you, no matter what you are pulsing towards, even if it's the ground, that pulsing, do you feel that squeeze? Do you feel that burn? Do you feel that work? Oh my goodness sakes, yes. Oh, and now we come back to walking. This is what I was talking about. I knew, especially with lots of walking in between, that this wasn't going to feel like an immediate burn, but I also know that this kind of really targeted work, you're gonna notice it more than likely tomorrow, even more so than today. And here's what happens when it was a cloudy and gloomy day. My brain offered me lots of logical reasons why it would be better to do this work at a different time. Of course, the lighting would be better on a different day. Of course, we have time other times. And of course, there was something else that I could be doing right now. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't be, productive. It's not like I'm sitting in front of the TV. I have work that I could do. But because I love myself and I promised myself that this was what I was going to do today, it's what I'm doing. Here we go. Rear pulses on the other side. Oh my gosh, not getting that one up towards the ceiling any more than the first leg, but wherever you can pulse to, thinking about this being actually a very small motion. It's not swinging your leg, it is a little pulse that squeezes nearly constantly from your gluteal muscles, as well as, I'm sure you feel this, in the back of your legs and the backs of your thighs, your hamstring muscles. Oh, doing this good work. And thank goodness we're back to walking. Okay. Okay, you guys, this next one, I actually really love this next one. It's very unusual. This is something that we don't do in nature very often, but it is such a great way to, again, get all of your butt muscles working from their entire plane of motion. This is something I call knee to knee openers. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna stand on one leg and you're gonna bring the flying leg's knee into, so your knees touch each other, and then away from, so that you're basically putting your foot onto your opposite knee. So it's an in and out motion, which my hips are not gonna love, but there you go, there you have it. This is how we strengthen our glutes, is by asking them to do things, that maybe they don't feel like doing right now. That's exactly how we get stronger, my friends. When you ask yourself to do things that maybe you don't feel like doing right now, and then you do it anyways because you promised and you love yourself. Here we go, knee to knee, and then foot to knee. I don't know if you heard my hip pop when I just did that first one. Yes, indeed, making sure that both hips, speaking of hips, are still facing forward. You could absolutely get a bigger range of motion on this one if you let your hips gap open, but your hips are both staying forward and your gluteal muscles, oh my gosh, as well as your inner and outer thighs, are doing this work. Really feeling this one, actually. I would come back to walking. Really felt that one on my inner and outer thighs. You guys, when you make yourself promises, and I know that we all do this actually, we make ourselves promises, but we kind of know we're not going to keep them. We kind of know that if your brain offers you something logical like, well, it's gray outside and you should really be doing some other kind of work. And my brain actually didn't whine at me like that, but that's how I hear it, because I know that it's just trying to get me to not do what I promised myself I was going to do. When I know that I have made a promise to myself, and I know that I love myself, I really honor those promises as though I have made them to somebody else. And here's what I did when I first started practicing this. I actually just thought of myself as one of my kids. I would never not be there and on time and in person and doing what I'm supposed to do. Here we go, those knee to knee openers. So knee to knee and foot to knee. Oh my gosh, having such a hard time on this one. So let's think about my hip popping. Think about where my hip is, not letting my hip jut open, but rather keeping it forward. And it's much harder for me to get my foot on my knee. Actually, this whole thing is harder because I'm very uncoordinated with this leg. I'm definitely feeling the limits of my coordination with this one. And thank goodness it's a no repeat workout, you guys. Well, coming up next, oh my gosh, coming up next, you guys, it's a built-in finisher. You know how much I love built-in finishers, because we're going to continue doing this. And I just have one final exercise for us that we're going to, of course, do on both sides, that you are going to love. And you know what? I'm actually going to turn the chair around so that I can put my hands on the flat part rather than on the back part, because that's how far over we're tipping. Oh yes, my friends. We are drawing circles in the air while we are in a drinky bird. I can't wait to see how uncoordinated I feel with this one. But I promised myself I was going to do it. I wrote it on the whiteboard. I told myself that this was something that was going to make our butts stronger and help us feel good and help us get results. So here we are. We're doing the things that we promised ourselves we were going to do. Now, I know that if you are here, so here we go. We're going to, think about coming down into a nice drinky bird. From this position, both hips pointed forward, you're drawing a circle in one direction and the other direction and back in the first direction. And this is my right leg, so it might be sort of oval shaped, more or less. I have no doubt in my mind that drawing a circle is going to be significantly harder on the other side. But we finished with the one side. Come on back to walking. When you make yourself promises from a place of love, when you practice keeping those promises from a place of love, like everything we practice, drawing circles, doing drinky birds, just exercising in general, it gets easier. Now, what I was saying, here you are on day 27. you've already made some really good promises to yourself. You've already made it almost the entire way through this month. And depending on when you're listening to this, maybe you've made this through this entire month numerous times. Maybe you are still on this journey from last year. My friends, I want you to know that you are doing such a great job keeping your promises to yourself. I'm so proud of you for that. Take a moment to really notice what that feels like when you keep promises to yourself. It's kind of amazing, right? It's kind of life-changing. Let's go ahead. Final thing, stand up straight and tall, come down into a drinky bird, and draw some circles. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's really easy to just fling my leg around because my glutes don't want to be doing this work anymore. Think about squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Does not matter what shape you're drawing. Oh my gosh, I think I mean, this is a rhombus at best. But I'm squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. I'm squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. The next time it beeps, is the last time it's going to beep. How about that, my friends? How about that? Let's go ahead and do some arm circles. I know our upper body didn't do a whole lot today. It actually feels really nice to do some arm circles here and really take some nice big breaths. What a great, great job you did today. Keeping promises, doing the work that maybe you loved it, maybe you didn't love it. It doesn't matter, it's done now. And it was the exact right amount and kind of work. Sometimes when we do focused work, do you notice that you're like, oh, I really should do something for my upper body now? No, you're fine. You did exactly the right thing today, my friends. Let's go ahead and open it up. I'm always so, so proud of you. And you can give yourself a big hug, a pat on your back, and be proud of yourself. Go ahead and open that up again. Thank you so much for working out with me today. Now, of course, I've got here on screen, I've got a longer cool down for you because I always do. And if you need some reminders about doing the right thing, for burning fat, for getting your weight loss goals, for doing what you need and promise yourself, I've got it here on screen too, the 5-0 method, the 5 things that we do every single day on our weight loss journey. And of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and I'll see you tomorrow.